Just heard Joe welcoming Zed to the team. And talking a little bit about this as we get into game 2, the champion lineup differences here. We now have a Ziggs moving over with the Tryndamere and the Ashe and the Janna. We have the Zed moving over with the Garen and the Jinx and so forth. Like, which lineup here do you favor more, Dash?
Honestly, I think the blue team got a nice steal here with the Ziggs coming over because they already have the great setup for the Tryndamere split push, and the thing we know best about Ziggs is wave clear. You saw the base defense. So the ability to play defensive while somebody else is in another lane looking for the aggression and to create the win, I think they got a solid upgrade.
Oh, yeah, but you do have to think about the other side as well. Maybe with a Zed here, maybe we'll see Master Yi coming down to attempt to get some of those ganks for that early pressure to prevent some of that wave clearance.
I mean, that's a really good point. Zed can completely take over a game. It's the style of champion, the type of champion that if gotten ahead early can just 1v9. So I like the consideration for focus towards the mid lane. Straight back into champion select, taking a look at those beautiful models and the different skins available to each of them.
Is that like is this like a Bilgewater Gangplank skin? With them like.
Sorry, I got distracted by hearing the red team shout out.
That's Shockblade Zed, man.
Oh,
Electricity.
Excuse me. He's got so much going on there. I saw last time we did have a skin
couple
battle.
Swords weren't enough.
There was Pentakill Olaf versus Pentakill Sona on opposite sides. A little bit of band rivalry.
Well, we know the power comes from the skins, right?
Of course, everything does.
Boom.
That's the only source of power.
Straight into the load-in, right off the top of match number 2. I want to call everyone's attention to the orientation of the map. We hit it right before match number 1, but it can't be hurt, or can't rather hurt to hit it again. The great thing about this game is that players on both teams play from the same perspective. So they're going to play from bottom left up to top right. Those indicators straight there, you saw the blue arrow with duo and the purple arrow with solo. Those are going to tell people exactly which lanes they should go to. So while, yes, we are seeing Garen, the quote-unquote top laner, he is playing on the bottom side in terms of perspective to help even it up.
Yep, and you can look over at the mini-map, see where the Drake is positioned as well. A lot of different ways to orient yourself. It makes for a great experience when actually playing through. I'm wondering where the pressure is going to come down in this game with the switch-up happening in the mid lane, because they were kind of left to their own fruition right there at the start.
Yeah, Emily taking a little bit of punishment from Rick Fox there early on, but Meteos finds his way into lane. Probably going to hit level 2 and then look to sustain up with that W. Q for the damage early here. I think you called it out, Wave Punk. Will we see more aggression earlier on in this game? And taking a look at the mid lane, the players that were swapped, and already Nate Hill is laying down the hurt, forcing the back out of Zed.
Yeah, forcing it so early. It's funny because we're talking about how, Nate Hill coming new into the game, doing so well. Dude became a pro in 7 months. He's picked up multiple games. So the man is a beast when it comes to gameplay, and it's obviously showing out here in Wildrift.
And at the same time, it was this top lane here that was the source of the first blood in game number 1. Both players still playing a cautious game, though, as no kills have come through just yet. Players hitting level 3 now, access to almost all of their abilities. Emily just looking to get the push in. Cesaro low health. This could be scary.
And no ult available yet to protect him, and Garen can really follow up, especially when coming down with that damage here in lane, or at least try to push back for some additional CSing of his own. I'm curious to see where the gank ends up coming first, because looking at the pathing, it looked like Chrissy might make her way over towards the bot side.
Yeah, just now, heading that way into the jungle, maybe going to pick up one of those buffs before looking for a gank. Meteos, though, with the roam towards the mid lane. Let's see if he can find it. Playing the vision game. Everybody's coming to see if they can take down Nate Hill. I love it. Party mid lane, but the flash out under turret, and Apex wants the blood.
Attempting to come on through with the Master. The final hit from Zed for the kill. And that is in favor here of the red side. Say, hey, you're going to switch me to the other team, then I'm going to put up some work for that team.
Oh, he's angry now. You made him angry, and he's going to make you pay for it.
Here in the top lane, being that we aren't ultimately in the ultimate territory, I love to see the continuous poke from these two melee champions going back and forth, and hearing the insight that Joe offered of the history that he and Cesaro have from his past work with WWE.
Yeah, we'll see if that can net him another victory up there in the top lane. They are straight into a fight. Level 5 though for Cesaro, so with the ultimate, pops it and drops the ignite, and that's a quick 1v1 kill for him.
Leveled up ahead of his opponent and made sure to take advantage. That's the decision making that leads to that in lane that will allow you to push for the continuous objectives. We mentioned before that here in the bot lane, Rick Fox had said how they were hoping to be more aggressive in this lane, which is curious considering the insight we had from rehearsal day, seeing just how many flashes can come out of this duo. And I'm sure they want to also punish what Meteos was able to have under his potential. And with the roaming coming from the enemy support, maybe more opportunities.
Ooh, right back to the mid lane. Good poke coming out of Zed there, using his shadow to do it. Meteos, though, Meteos appears out of nowhere looking for the gank, but takes a lot of punishment as Aframu manages to match it. No kills traded just yet in the mid lane. Very intelligent and safe play out of both teams so far.
Meteos came in for some pressure. Q not going to hit so far just yet, though, and kind of had to walk it out. And this at least kind of breaks up that continuous poke that was happening between the mid laners, too, and just alleviate some of that pressure.
I love seeing those wards come out. It always makes me a happy caster when I see newer players take advantage of the vision game. Apex here looking to pick up his blue buff, accelerate his jungle clearing. Everybody is level 5 now, so ultimates across the board, waiting for that first big trigger pull to start the fight, and there it is. The Ash Arrow comes out, lands onto Emily, is the follow-up there, as Meteos maybe is the target here. The A moving from Rick Fox on point. The exhaust comes out, though. He manages to back off. No kills traded just yet. Straight to the top lane, Tigers.
Mobility and zap enough for the attack, but the attack in the top lane is one that results in a clean hit from Cesaro down to the wire and recovers effectively. A solo kill at that, which can have a huge impact in freeing up the rest of the lane. But the poke actually continues down here in the bot lane. Meteos pretty low on HP. Will have to use a lot of mana to try and heal himself back up.
They did get that return kill, though, onto Rick Fox. So as one kill goes over in the top lane, one is traded on the bottom side of the map. 3-2 stands the kill score. A very even game at this point.
Which that should leave so many possibilities. Last game was pretty even when you consider the different win conditions that the teams were playing into. One a bit more based on the team fights and trying to get those kills and extend the timers. The other one pushing until no towers were left. Zed continuing to take some damage here again as the rotations come to the mid lane and always forced to back after that.
Yeah, Nate Hill just raining those bombs down for good poke. But we see here the red side team grouping up in the river around Chrissy. Will they look for a dragon? Will they look for an invade? The Ash Arrow out of the bush. No one expected that as we're looking at another fight breakdown. Joe gonna back out, realizing now that he's down a couple kills, needs to respect the power of that Tryndamere. Red team on full retreat here under their turret.
Now, the rest of the team luckily was able to rotate and be there with Meteos so that they couldn't eventually just collapse and finish off that kill. Now continue to pressure in the lane. The solo laners that are continuously left on their own up here. It's another kill for Cesaro. The continuous combo, popping his ultimate and finishing off the Garen.
Yeah, killing spree now for him. We talked about the decreased cooldowns here on Wildrift, and so again, it can be very empowering when you get that initial injection of gold from an early kill to just keep running it at your opponents, and that's exactly what Tryndamere's built to do.
Yeah, and Garen's one of those champions that you'll feel pretty good if you're on Tryndamere's side, knowing that he's not just getting out of control because he comes and tries to hit you with that Demacian Justice later, and it can hurt. Meteos, though, finding himself poked down, heals himself up, throws out the ultimate, and the follow-up action from Emily is here. Throws down the rockets even with the switcheroo, but she gets blasted in response. Temporarily stunned and can only back up so much. No flash available. Knocked up by the Howling Gaze. Should be one more line for the praise to happen onto Rick Fox as he gets the kill.
That's great follow-up from the team. 2 kills picked up after the Ocean Drake as well. Some good objective focus. You'll notice, though, Cesaro never misses a beat. Picked up the Rift Herald on the other side in response. While we're back in the shop, I also want to, again, call everyone's attention to the gold values and, of course, the items that are listed there. The great thing about Wildrift is that recommended items, you can build out a set for yourself, and they will appear in order as you want them on the Rift for easy buys, but you still also have access to the shop in full value. Again, Joe in tough spot here, picking up the honey fruit, hoping that the health can save him, but Cesaro drops the ignite and looks for the kill, spins on top, and the rampage
No tower to stand behind. Cesaro, you put him in a ring, you put him on the rift. He's going to slam you down time and time again.
He is quite good at that. No stranger to the top lane, so very used to those 1v1s. I think he's in his comfort zone now with a bit of a lead here to just split push to victory. They're going to have to find a response here on the red team to that aggression from the Tryndamere.
A lot of the blue side are clustered over here in the top lane, and Cesaro is having to enter to try and continue this push. They've activated the Rift Herald, going to get a nice hefty hit onto this tower that, once again, remember, it does act as an inhib as well, allowing them to spawn those super minions now that it's destroyed.
Yeah, a lot of pressure to the top side, forcing the entire red team to come over and respond. Means another turret goes down in the mid lane. I think we're starting to see some suffocation here on the Rift.
This is what we saw during the last game, right? Just because of the pressure that was created ahead of time, forced into, the mid lane, we're seeing more of that team fighting. The timer's starting to get longer. We're almost at the 9-minute mark, which can be a halfway mark in a lot of the games within Wild Rift.
Again, level 9s coming in across the board, so that means level 2 ultimates are available to most of our players with increased cooldown on that, or rather decreased cooldown, I should say, means more action more often.
Our eyes are back on Meteos. A duo with Emily that has done so well with wave clearing and pressuring the enemy. The attempted flank could be coming here on the side. They did get some vision for a moment, so Cesaro was a bit forecasted. A nice stun onto Emily and the continued follow-up, but luckily has the protection against the Howling Gaze, so she can back up behind the tower. Meteos continuing to offer that support.
Yeah, fantastic find with the arrow, but even in the 3v2, can't manage to secure the kill as the blue team, or rather red team, retreats under the safety of their own first-tier turret. Meteos looking to establish some vision, just track the opponents here in the river. Let's see if they find the collapse here on Rick Fox. He's going in.
But we're revisiting temporarily over onto the top side, seeing the work that Joe is putting here. But back here on the bottom, there is the continuous layering of the CC Meteos all the way brought down. But he's got the heal to back off, and the rest of the team, Zed's jumped into the middle of the action, but only to find his own demise. Another kill under the belt of Cesaro, completely dominating within the rift. And that's a great thing to follow up on here, as you can see those death timers starting to extend.
Yeah, a 1 for 2 as the Tryndamere finds 2 for himself, and boom, straight onto Meteos' face. Cesaro is looking to put a close on this one, and in much faster fashion than the first go-around.
He's found himself in the middle of the fight. Joe, can he get the hit? Another knock up, a double for Aframu. I want nothing else than to see some of that aggressive action here from the bot laner in the line of support. This should allow them to take down the turret, no problem. A lot of damage onto Cesaro in the process, but he can keep himself alive and protected for the rest of the team. Slam down Ziggs with a follow-up, and that's an AD carry gone for the opposition, a major source of power in their comp.
Yeah, the 3-man squad, Nate Hill using those abilities to knock down the turret when it gets to low health. I think that may have caught Emily a little off guard there. We're going to have the retreat from the blue team, though, back to the Dragon, seeing if they can snag some of these global objectives, help them in their move to victory.
And their full team here, they have no problem in securing it. The enemy's probably aware that this was happening and didn't want to engage in something that they couldn't come out of safely. And in a response, we might get a little bit of a reset here after getting this buff, but still some rotation over into the mid lane and the action to boot. Another ultimate for Meteos to get that directly on to the Zig, but Nate Hill finds himself into the back of the fight here and taking too much damage from the bomb poke and the ash to boot. They're continuing in pursuit. Will the pursuit be enough? Zed, one more shot to his head, and that's another kill for Rick Fox, putting the rocks in all of the socks of the enemies. They're in their graves once more.
Wavepunk is feeling it. Red team started the fight, but the blue team finishes it, and now they turn their sights onto the Baron, again wanting that purple butt to help them push to victory.
They already started getting some chips onto that top tower. They've got a wave pushing up that way as well, but it has been met. Some clearing happening in the mid lane. I can expect to maybe see some action there. It doesn't look like anyone's going to contest this objective, and the Baron has been secured.
Baron's no joke on the Wild Rift. Did you see Aframu having to pop Monsoon there just to keep everyone alive with 4 hitting it? That's an impressively strong Baron right there.
That and even some of the late game tower hits and things still kind of rocking them a bit. now that they have it, we'll have to see what they do with it.
Yeah, this game can be punishing. Again, I think it's important to highlight that there still is a serious focus on strategic play, those heightened moments, and those outplays. I think right now, eyes on Zed to see if he can make an outplay and maybe turn this around.
Oh, is he going to try? But also to note on your screen, if you missed this before, you can see the boots down in the bottom right corner. That is because the base boots do have actives with them that you can upgrade into additional actives that'll look familiar to any League of Legends players.
Yeah.
Right there to click with the rest of them.
Every single one of your abilities there, though, on the right side of the screen. So very centralized in that sense, while the movement is on the left side. Looking for the chase down is Zed and Meteos right now, but that is a strong Tryndamere you're looking to fight.
And a bit too speedy for him to get out of that. Meteos wouldn't have been able to connect unless he flashed for something, and not guaranteed to follow up with enough damage. And it looks like most of the action over in the mid lane, the bot lane has been sent over there too to just match the Ziggs.
Traded kills on the 80 carries. The double kill, though, comes through for Nate Hill in the mid lane. It looks like that's going to establish a nice amount of pressure and force the rotation out of Meteos and Zed just to keep those turrets alive.
Those Baron-empowered minions are making their way down. You can see how hard the cannon is hitting the turret. But Meteos and Zed, they just want to mitigate this as much as possible. Meteos enough in his kit to offset the damage of the Ziggs ultimate, but that's really just used to continue the pressure, and with one more hit, that tower is eliminated.
Yeah, who wins, Ziggs poke or Sona heals? It's a hard one to call, but as you mentioned, with those Baron minions, the turret does go down. Cesaro looking for the kill under turret. He's going straight into the base. The ultimate is popped. Will he get out? Over the wall, the Super Mega Death Rocket cannot find the kill, and Meteos is now on a shopping spree.
Hits them with the moves. You gotta respect that aggression and play-making mindset. Visiting back over on the blue side, I personally just love the smiles and what we're seeing, the intensity from all of the players as we tune into them as well.
A treasure trove to spend there for the Tryndamere, backing with 3K gold. Nate Hill in a 1v1 right now with Emily, but Rick Fox going to step up to support that Ziggs.
Yeah, Rick Fox and Nate Hill have been paired together for quite some time to apply this pressure here in the mid lane. And it's pretty much called for somebody on the opposite side to always be there because of the wave clear. Leaves little options really when you're trying to make a play for yourself.
Now, 20-6 in kills, 15-minute mark we just crossed, and yet it does seem like the pace has slowed just a little bit. Maybe some trepidation here out of the blue side in terms of figuring out how to put a close on this game.
And they did elect to reset in times where they could have technically pushed forward, but they might be forced into a fight just by the other team that is attacking right now. There's the zap directly onto Aframu, so he can't back off. He's trying to use his CC to keep everybody else backed up, but the pursuit of Meteos as well as Chrissy is just too much. Monsoon under the tower for some healing. Can you get that shot onto the Meteos? It doesn't matter!
The cross-map Nexus kill! Wavepunk, he heard you talking about the importance of that top lane, and Cesaro brings it home.